and then we'll play the Ice Cube.
Yep.
And then we'll take a break, and then I'll be able to edit it a lot easier.
All right. I'll try not to screw you
All
up.
right.
All right.
What's up, guys? It's the latest edition of the DC Defender Show, live from Savannah, Georgia. And who knows where Alex is this week? That's going to be our new segment. Where's Alex this week? Where are you checking in, Alex?
New Orleans, Louisiana. And you know what to do? Hit the music, Victory Monday.
A little bit behind the scenes again. We never planned that out. So if I ever cut Alex off, I apologize to all you fans that want to hear Alex's crucial words before he says hits the music, or that those two little words maybe after it. But I'm glad to be back. Another episode, another 2 episodes. We came out real strong. First words about this past week. I just want your first words.
Victory.
Victory.
That's it. A win's a win. You said it on Saturday night. You sent me a text. A win is a win. And that's what good teams do. Good teams find a way to win. Teams with culture, teams who believe in themselves. They win games on the last play of the game. So it was a big win, and now we're tied for first place.
Yeah, we're tied for first place going. So this season's only 10 weeks long, right? Mm-hmm. We're 33% done, and we're tied for first place. You can't complain. Right now, you can't complain. It might not have been pretty, and we'll get into it. It might not have been dominant, like maybe some games last year, but you're in first place. It doesn't make a difference.
And we stole a road win. So let's think about that for a second.
Yeah,
DC's never lost at home. They're undefeated in Audi Field. So we hold service at home. That's 5. Not getting ahead of ourselves, but you already stole a road win. That's 6-4. That gets you close to the playoffs right there. The winning on the road is huge. If you can steal 1, 2 on the road, big win. Any way you cut it.
Especially as you see how the XFL is kind of separating itself. St. Louis obviously is taking a step forward. They're even impressing you, who you never say a kind word about St. Louis. San Antonio might have taken a step back with the breaking news that Garbers is out for the year. We'll see what happens there. There's nothing official out yet right now. It's the internet at its finest. So there maybe by the time the show comes out, we'll know definitely what's up with Garbers. But there's an opportunity here for DC to slide in here, and they haven't even played the best football. You could say San Antonio's played pretty good football for the first 3 weeks. You could say St. Louis is getting better. DC's just figuring out ways to win without playing good football yet.
True.
That, in my opinion, that makes them a scary team, because when your offensive tackles are the lowest graded pass blockers in the league, and you're winning games with those offensive tackles, it doesn't make a difference. And I know Hayes came on our show, and I'm not calling him out.
Yep.
But him, Jameer Johnson, Tommy Champion, they're all rated lower than Gene Delance. All right, like through 3 weeks, they're all rated lower than Gene Delance that we were killing after week 1.
Right.
But that kind of tells you, like, hey, we're winning, we're figuring out ways. And I think I sent you the clip of Davin Bellamy in the locker room. Champion teams, they figure out ways to win. It might not be pretty, it might not. It just figuring out a way to win is the most important thing, really.
Right. And, you talk about the tackle play, the defense isn't immune to it either. I mean, have you ever gone to one of these games or seen a clip where they let the manager, or maybe there's some kid who, wants to make a wish, and they let him score a touchdown and they hand the ball and people run up to him and dive at him and act like they're going to tackle him? That's what we looked like on Saturday. That's what our defense looked like. Like we were making a wish, like you run up to people and dive at air. We have got to start tackling better. I mean, not to be overly critical, but that's what it reminded me of. It's like one of those charity events where they let the guy score a touchdown and they act like they're trying to tackle him. We got to get better on defense. No question about it.
I'm laughing because if you watch Tell Me About It, which comes out on Mondays on the United Football Media, they do a great job, and they all promote all of our individual shows now that we have every single team covered in the United Football Media. And they said on the show, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, this week's episode, they said Alex is going to come in hot, coming after the defenders, even after a win. And they nailed it. Like Eric nailed it right off the top. So I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Just imagine Alex after like a loss, a tough loss. If they were, if the defenders were the Renegades in this situation,
Oof.
what would Alex be like on the Hellraisers podcast this week? That's what I don't want to see. Like, I'll take this, Alex, any day. Three things. First thing, special teams making plays. I don't know. You might not know this, but special teams, special players, special teams play. There's a gamer out there, and he's got Tourette's, and he's kind of viral right now. And right now, so special teams, special players, special teams, special players. He keeps saying that and in his hands. And all I could think of watching this game was, hey man, these special teams are actually pretty good. McCrane, Paxton Brooks only punted twice, but he averaged 50. And then can we talk about Chris Rolland? Rolland, we talked about it preseason that he was going to be important. Everyone was like, come on, man, he's 5'7". Like, we've got Kuti, who's kind of undersized. Like, what's Rolland going to do? This offense is more geared towards the outside of the big, Lucky Jackson, Chris Blair kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But Chris Rolland has become very important to this team almost overnight.
Yeah.
Anything to add about special teams?
McCrane, with not only the field goals, that's obvious, right? Proofs in the pudding there. His kickoffs are great. If you go back and look, he was getting good distance on the kickoffs. I mean, we covered pretty well on the special teams. I think the special teams continue to get better. And we see from watching Houston, special teams can kill you. That wasn't the difference in their game against Michigan, but I think they've had a punt blocked in every game. So, I mean, our special teams have been better, and certainly McCrane's kickoff and our ability to cover kickoffs has been pretty good too. So, very impressed with those guys. Yeah,
special teams, and honestly, that was the difference in this game, right? When you're getting dominated the entire game, and your special teams can make plays consistently, they dig you out of some holes sometimes. Like the big kickoff for Rolland, right? On that drive, like if Rolland doesn't do that, we're probably not scoring a touchdown. Let's be honest.
Probably not winning that game.
Yeah, which leads to the win. So, number 2, keep fighting. The comeback win. I think that graphic's supposed to be relaxed. Just to let you know, with the flower in the brain. I just type it. So I go to where I get all these graphics, and I just type the word comeback. I was like, oh, they were relaxed, and these are the graphics. Never the prettiest team, and no studs, just wins. Spread throughout everyone. So talk about the keep fighting attitude.
Yeah, they did. I mean, like I said, we used to talk about find a way to win the game on the last play of the game. And that's not that you want to win on the last play of the game, but you always have a chance. You always want to be in that game where you can win it on the last play of the game. And you know what they did this week? And I give them a lot of credit, because I'll tell you, when it was 28-18 and Arlington's kicking off, there's a letdown there. And you just think, man, it's going to be a tall order. But credit to Coach Barlow, his staff, the guys for never quitting. And there's certain intangibles that don't show up on a stat sheet. And I do think that for as many flaws as this team has shown through 3 weeks, there's some intangibles in that locker room and on that coaching staff that if we can clean some of this stuff up, it will be a special season. But keep chopping, keep fighting to the last play of the game, and they did.
Yeah, it's to tell you the truth, it makes for an exciting season. I may get a few more grays watching them all year, maybe a little bit less hair. But
watch it, Webb.
I'm not going to go there. I was going to go somewhere. I'm not going to go there. Winning culture moments, kind of the third thing, it kind of piggybacks right off of that. JT's ugly stats, but effective when he needed. The defense gave up nearly 420 yards. 420 yards. We talked about this. 300 yards is like giving up 500 yards in this league with the running clock. 420 yards is a lot. And they made stops when they had to. I want you to start with the made stops when they had to, because I know where this conversation is about to lead. So I'm gonna kind of direct you from the coolest to the hottest topic. So
to be totally honest with you, I'm not gonna let you off the hook that quickly, because if you think about it, they scored to go up 28-18, and then basically we stopped them because we never gave them the ball back. If you think about it, we had the long return, we scored, we had the 4th and 12, and then we scored again, and so we played keep away. And I won't steal your thunder if you're going to take me down the road and try to make me look bad. I get it. But no, it just, at times, and I had in my notes here, we put 7 guys in the box, at times walked up an 8th defender in the box. and couldn't stop the run. So there's something flawed in there when you have 7 and 8 guys in the box and they're still, jamming you for 5 yards. And, I think Williams did a great job. Early they converted a 3rd down on us early. We were in cover 2 and they made a nice throw, and that's going to happen. But we didn't do the same thing. I mean, I couldn't see any tendencies on Williams. He did a great job mixing it up. There we were man sometimes. We brought pressure when we thought we could, played a lot of zone. But their 3rd down conversions were, it was brutal. We just could not get off the field. And it's like Chuck Long has us dialed in on 3rd down. It's like, we saw it last year in the championship game, and it was really frustrating this week, to just not be able to make a play to get off the field. And it wasn't because we were bringing too much pressure. It wasn't because we were sitting in one look. Williams did a lot of different stuff, and they just converted every damn 3rd down, it felt like. One time they had in the first half, it was 11 first downs to 1. At one point in time in the second half, I don't know what the final stats were, but they had converted 12 out of 15 first downs on 3rd down. 12 out of 15 3rd downs. That's just unbelievable how good they were. But anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to ramble.
Well, no. I think Long has figured out the Greg Williams defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a bad matchup for Greg Williams personally, and I think Chuck Long's kind of historically over now the last 3 games really, against each other. And I of course they probably have a history before this, but it seems like, hey, they have the weapons and they have the system that will give Greg Williams defense fits all the time. So do you go into games like this against the Arlington Renegades? We got them in a couple weeks, right? Do you go into this going, hey, guess what? Our offense got to put up 35 because they're pretty effective against us, because they do have a 3-game, especially with Luis Perez now. Yeah. They do have 3 games in a row where he's dealing. Never mind that they're bringing off Lindsey Scott. So
well, hopefully Arlington will keep. Arlington's a lot better now in 3. They are. Against
they're not the Roughnecks. They're not the Roughnecks.
No, because I think we saw that St. Louis is probably better than I've given them credit for this week against the Brahmas. And quite frankly, that's a game Arlington could have won. Arlington could be sitting at 2-1 just as easy as 0-3. And defense and offensively, they're pretty tough. Like you said, Perez is dealing. It might take 35 to beat them next time. But, I give Coach Williams credit. He threw everything at him. The thing that scared me, though, especially with Birmingham coming up, when you put 7 and 8 guys in the box and you still can't stop the run, that tells me you're not physical, or that other team is more physical. Our linebackers are going to have to start playing better football, and we're going to have to start tackling better as a team. Because, you're not going to be able to give Birmingham 3-4 yards, pound in the middle. You're going to have to take something away from them. They got to get physical this week.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about JT. JT is, in our private conversations, the hottest topic. We go back and forth, I think, the most. Talk about JT's performance. I know a little bit you're going to talk about it again. So briefly, talk about how it was ugly statistically, but effective when needed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's mechanics or what, but his throws are all over the place. It feels that way. Even the 4th down and 12 catch, it's balls behind the guy. And just so inconsistent throwing the football, it feels like. And this is 2 weeks in a row now that we're hovering right around a 50% completion rate. But I'll say this, and this from your inside scoop, he is the team leader in that locker room, and people respond to him. And when you had to make plays, he did. And when he had to make plays with his feet, he did. So all respect to him. We just got to clean up the mechanics or something. And in fairness, he's got a new receiving core, and that's going to take a bit too, right? So,
and no Abrams and no Abrams sitting behind him. And now actually this leads into the question of the week. Is the injury to Bradley Moore detrimental to this offense? Because Bradley Moore was like his kind of a safety mechanism, and I know Alex Ellis is still there, but it seems like we thought Caden Smith was going to be the guy, right?
Yeah.
And he hasn't been active at all. So is the Bradley Moore injury maybe the toughest injury to overcome, more than Abram? Because he kind of gives, I don't know, it always seemed like Tiamo looks towards him in the red zone or on a crucial 4th down. And by losing that comfort, and you talked about the new receivers and everything, is this injury almost too much for the team.
Could be. I'll tell you where it hurt him. He got injured the first possession of the game on offense. And if you recall, against Houston, we were able to move the ball traditionally using the run game a little bit, and we played a lot of 2 tight ends, especially in the second half. Well, he went out. They only had 2 tight ends active on the roster, right? So when he went out, that takes us completely out of that package very early in the game. So, I felt like the run game existed of spread them out 5 wide and a quarterback draw, okay, or maybe spread them out 4 wide and have the running back lead with the quarterback draw. There was no running game other than Te'amu. But we couldn't go 2 tight ends. So I would imagine that Smith will be activated this week if Brawley's unable to come back. But that's a great point, Webb. I think not only as a target, but then it took us out of some of the 12 package we like to run and those types of things.
Yeah. So you ready? On. I love that, man. I really do. I know I made it and everything, but I loved it.
It's
love
cool.
that
It's
on
intimidating.
Yeah.
I might need that sword walking around New Orleans
Yeah,
at night.
We're going to start with Alex, play of the game. We're going to do it a little differently. The video is courtesy of the league, the UFL, and ESPN's broadcast. It's a 1.5-minute video of all the highlights, and then we're going to kind of talk about the game briefly and the moments that stood out. So here you go. Check it out.
Get up. Hey, Alex, here we go. But they have not been able to capitalize. Perez floats one to the end zone. Touchdown! Tyler Bonds, his 6th catch of the game. Both backs in the backfield, Higgins and Harris. Te'amu floats one to the end zone again. It is caught. Is he in? No. They'll say incomplete. Brandon Smith again, and Darren Evans in coverage again.
Oh, what a throw, though. He threw it to the space in the area that is needed. Smith made the throw, but was he able to hold on? Did he juggle that football? Remember, no super challenge available for DC.
That could have been Hunter back there as well. He's a speedster. He keeps and gets in the end zone. Lindsey Scott Jr. Pick up. To Harris. Let's go. Trying to push his way in. Is he in? One from 49 for the win. The kick is up. It is good. DC has a championship.
Good job.
29-28. The defenders avenge their loss last.
Yeah, no one gets to see that, but I could see in the studio. The kick goes up and Alex's arms go up like this. So I don't even know if you knew. I could see you the whole time, your reaction, everything. But talk about the moments in the game, because it just seemed like a little bit behind the curtain. I didn't watch the game live. I checked out the stats, knew the final score before I tuned into the game, so I knew what was kind of coming. Talk about the ups and downs that a team has to go through. Because if you look at statistically, they got their butts kicked. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at that score and you don't know the final, I mean, if you look at those stats and don't know the final score, you think that's a 15, 20-point win by the Renegades. They had nearly, like, for Perez and the offense to be able to produce that much offense, and then you look at the time of possession, 20 minutes to nearly 40 minutes. Like, it's just crazy. Go through it in the mind of a coach. Just breaking down like the ups and downs and what a coach has to deal with and to finally get a win. I don't know if you ever won a game like that.
Had a couple that come to mind that we actually did have a couple of good comeback wins. And then we had a couple that didn't go so well too. But, I think from a defensive standpoint, I go back to Coach Williams. It's frustrating when you're doing everything that you think you can do to, stop the other team and you just can't. Like even that one pass where they caught the touchdown, Conley's in good position there. The receiver just made a nice adjustment on the ball, the one that was thrown behind, and Conley just couldn't gather himself. But, in the right call, man-to-man, that's a low percentage throw. Guy just makes a good play. But in terms of the ups and downs, I think for me, up until about 2 minutes to go, you're looking at this thing like they're dominating the line of scrimmage. They're converting every third down. Offensively, we're inconsistent as heck. And then the difference, it all turned on that kickoff return by Rowland. 57-yard return. It gets us the short field down on the plus 35. And like I said, then we played keep away. They never got the ball back. But I think maybe not so much of a roller coaster, but you're a defensive guy. And I literally felt defensively like we couldn't have stopped them all day. That's what it felt like. And that's frustrating. It's when you feel like you got to outscore somebody. So anyway.
So if we had to choose one play of the game for you, because I didn't get all the video put together, what would be that one play that you're like, that's the moment outside of McCrane's kick? Because I know your fascination and your love for kickers. But
I am. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods before I left to come down here and I tried on some soccer shoes. Been walking around in them trying to get used to them. But McCrane's kick was huge, but it's got to be Chris Rowland. I mean, that play we were dead in the water. It's 28-18. They've just taken a 2-score lead. You've just got 2 minutes and 4 or 5 seconds to go. The ball game's all but over. You need a play. And when he brought that back to the 35, it's like, all right, there's a reason to keep watching. I'm not going to tell the listeners out there what my last note in my notebook was, because this is family TV. But, after they went up 10, I wrote, something else. And that was it. And I think the notebook got discarded halfway across the room. And then the big return, it's like, whoa, not done yet. That was the difference maker right there. Special teams, special plays, special teams.
You got it, Alex. You're going to become viral now.
I'm viral.
All right, Alex. You're DC player of the game. I put you first because you got to explain yourself. Because when we have the conversations, you're like, I don't know about JT, and then to choose him, he had to impress you somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if you go and look statistically, and I mean, we only had like 200 and some odd yards of offense, right? Like 270 or something like that. Look at the numbers. I mean, he accounted for 241 of the 270 some odd yards. And, I'd have given it to McCrane again. But JT makes plays when he has to make plays, and that's a sign of a winner. And I give him all the respect for that. He's a leader. He's the winner. I would just like to see us clean up some of the accuracy in the passing game. And be a little bit more consistent on offense, which will, hopefully will come with better protection. Again, a lot of people overlook. We replaced 2 offensive starters up front. We have a brand new receiving core. Barlow Moore goes down in this last game. So that takes away a lot of what you can do in the run game. And we lost Abram Smith. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that team that's missing, and it kind of all falls to JT. So he's my player of the game, tip of the cap for pulling out another win. 1-0 this week.
There you go. I want Chris Rowland. I think he was the obvious choice. 162 total yards, 126 on kickoffs. Obviously, when you're giving up a lot of points, you need the kickoff to come back, especially in this league. The kickoff's so important. Yep. He set up the vibe and then the comeback. I called it the vibe, but he started the comeback. And the cool thing was, do you remember his touchdown play when he caught it?
No.
He came out, he motioned out of the backfield.
Oh, yeah. He came right out.
And
the one in the flat.
He got the one-on-one with the linebacker. Yep. And I think he can be a weapon that, if Kais uses him correctly, that where he will get the mismatch. Yeah. Because he might be the forgotten guy on this offense. And I really think he gets that play call because Briley's not there. Because I could see Briley kind of being the H-back motion out, and it's right there. Right. Chris Rowland comes in and gets that and gets a touchdown off that play. I just think he just had moments. We talk about winning moments, and yes, he only had 2 catches. Yes, he only returned the ball. Of course, he got a ton of total yards, right? They kicked off the ball a lot because the defense gave a lot of touchdowns. He's going to get that, but he continues to be an important part in this offense and on this team, and he has special plays like this, special teams, special players.
Yeah.
The stat of the game, when I looked at this, I told you I watched the game second after I look at the stats. The first down, I honestly, I look at this. I start with efficiency. Honestly, when I look at it, and it looks pretty bad in some points, but at other points, first down average gain, they're gaining 5 yards per first down.
Yeah.
So from a guy that watched every single down while the game's going on, did you think the average first down would be about even?
Well, no, I didn't. I wonder how much of that has to do, though, with total plays, because their time of possession, I think they had the ball didn't they have like 20 more minutes in time of possession than we did? And I didn't see them in total plays, but significantly more plays that they had, so it's lower in. So I guess then more effect, but it's still 5 yards a carry. I guess you're right. Didn't feel like it. My God, it didn't. But I guess JT had a couple of runs in there too. I was surprised. What did we end up rushing with, like 80 some yards? 80
something like that. Yeah, because he had 53. Yeah. So.
Oh, you're looking specifically at first down. No, it doesn't feel that way at all.
Yeah, when I look at this, I'm like, oh, they moved the ball on first down. But then when you really dig into it, he's 4 of 10 on first down. Obviously, not even 50% completing the pass. We rushed the ball for 11 for 26 yards. 2.4. But if you just look at the average gain, it looks. They had 7 first downs off of 22 first down plays, which is kind of crazy to me. Because that's yeah.
Look at you getting all statistical, Webb. Like you start putting formulas and stuff. And
maybe I'll come out with a security blanket. Who knows?
I hear you. Is it over already?
It is. Oh, you still want to go? Go ahead. Come on.
No.
Come on.
No, you go. That was it. No, it's good. We are good. Listen. Here's the thing. Lots to clean up, but we won 1-0 last week. Got Birmingham. Everybody knows about Birmingham. This week coming up could be a set the table for the rest of the season right here, right? The 2 best teams. We were the best in the XFL last year, just don't have a title to prove it. They've been the best in the USFL for 2 years. It's a big week. The things that we aren't doing can be fixed and cleaned up, right? We're 2-1, and really we could be 0-3, right?
Yeah.
We clean things up. This can still be and is going to be a special season. Got to get better defensively. Got to get better offensively.
Yeah, it's a huge week in the league because every team in your conference can win because it's XFL versus USFL this week. Mm-hmm. So if it's St. Louis and St. Louis is playing Memphis right now, Memphis is on the downside, man. Like St. Louis is going to go 3-1, right? Like
I don't know.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
They have a way. They'll blow it. They'll blow one along the way. They will.
They have the arch.
The playoffs, right?
They have the arch and the arch
and the arch
and the arch.
Yeah,
and the arch.
Exactly.
But you also got San Antonio, who's playing Michigan, which Michigan's playing good ball right now.
They are.
Then you have the battle of the 0-3 teams. So even I would say Arlington's probably going to beat Houston right now.
Think so.
And the Ace just released a tweet saying that there's 5 or 6 roster moves coming out tonight, just based off of Houston. So it seems like they're in turmoil. Arlington's competitive in every single game so far.
Yeah.
So they're going to win. I don't want to say this, but I almost think Birmingham game is a must win.
Yeah, well, it'd be a huge win for sure. But I think before the season started, remember I'd said that we start with 3 games on the road. And if you can come out of those first 4 sitting at 2-2, the season sets up nicely for the second half with 4 home games. I'd like to come out of this week 3-1. But this week in this Arlington game, if you lose that one, you're in trouble. And they didn't.
Yeah.
So, give them all the credit.
Hey, if they go 2-1 all year, right? They're 6-3 going into week 10. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. 7-3 should get you in the playoffs and should be one of the top 2 teams in the XFL.
Absolutely.
So, this is the next set of 3 weeks.
Yep. And for as scary as Arlington and as tough as they were against us, St. Louis still has to play them. Yep. So I mean, they still have to go. They have to run through the same things we have to run through. You just take care of yourself. You just win each week. That's. I know it sounds simple, but we need to tackle better. We need to be more physical. And I think if we can shore some things up on defense, we can give Birmingham fits, and they're a lot to handle. But that's why
I can't wait until you talk about getting more physical and all that. I can't. So Greg Williams has a podcast. I know me and you have talked about it. Come Get Some. Mm-hmm. And with his son, and it's a really good watch. They break down the NFL, but they always do a segment on the defenders, especially during the season. And I can't wait to hear him try to. Like the thing is, Greg is very confident. He is very confident, and but he always seems to turn it rosy. Like he's going to turn it rosy and make it seem like it's better than what it is. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to see, because it's tough to explain the 29-28 win with the defense performance. It's very tough for him to do that. And I can't wait to tune in and there'll be clips on my Twitter, so you don't have to go watch the whole hour and a half show. But me and Alex will share them. I just want to see what he says about that performance. And now you're going against, and we'll do it in the next episode,
right?
The best team. Like, no one's questioning who the best team is right now through 3 weeks.
Yep, no question.
And you go from playing a team that's 0-3 to a team that, has only lost 3 games in 3 years.
Yeah.
So
good point.
We'll do another episode.
Let's do another episode. How about that? Are we doing the sign-offs?
Yeah, of course we're doing the sign-off. That's your trademark. That's your trademark.
Let's do it, man. Victory Monday. Thanks for listening. And until we meet again, so long, everybody.
Shields up, Webb and Alex out.